Can you imagine walking into what should be one of the most exciting moments of pregnancy, the 20-week ultrasound and gender reveal, only to hear the words no parent ever wants to hear? That is exactly what happened to Joanna Duggar and her husband Austin Forsyth. 6 years later, the couple is still navigating the quiet ache of a loss that changed their family forever, and Joanna has just shared new, deeply personal details about the grief that followed. Fans who have followed the Duggars for years know this family has faced public highs and private storms, but the story of their daughter Annabelle continues to move people in a unique way. If you have ever wondered how Joanna and Austin found the strength to keep going, or what the past few weeks have looked like for them as they mark another milestone without their little girl, stay with me. There is more to this story than many people realize. The Duggar family first stepped into living rooms across America through the TLC series 19 Kids and Counting, later continuing with Counting On. Viewers watched Jim, Bob and Michelle raise their 19 children under a strict faith-based lifestyle that emphasized large families, courtship, and public ministry. Joanna, the fifth daughter and ninth child overall, grew up in that spotlight. She married longtime family friend Austin Forsyth in May 2017 after a short engagement. The couple welcomed their first son, Gideon, in early 2018. Like many young parents, they looked forward to growing their family. In the spring of 2019, they announced Joanna was pregnant again. What followed became one of the most difficult chapters they have ever shared publicly, and recent conversations show that the impact of that loss remains very real. In late June 2019, Joanna and Austin went in for their 20-week anatomy scan and gender reveal. The appointment that should have brought celebration instead brought silence. The technician could not find a heartbeat or any movement. The baby was a girl. 1 week later, the couple returned to the hospital so Joanna could deliver their daughter. They named her Annabelle Elise. In an Instagram post shared shortly afterward, they explained that Annabelle means God has favored me and Elise means God satisfies. They wrote that although they only had her for 20 weeks, she would remain in their hearts forever. Black and white photos from the hospital showed the young parents holding their tiny daughter, wrapped carefully and surrounded by family. Joanna later shared that they were able to bury Annabelle in a special place on Austin's parents' farm. The physical recovery came relatively quickly, she has said, but the emotional recovery did not. In early July 2025, Joanna marked what would have been Annabelle's 6th birthday with a quiet Instagram tribute. She posted a series of photos, some from the hospital and some from the days surrounding the loss, and simply wrote, "Happy Heavenly 6th Birthday Annabelle Elise Forsyth." The post carried a gentle warning that some images might be difficult for viewers. Comments poured in from people who had walked similar roads, offering prayers and shared memories of their own losses. Just days later, Joanna sat down with her sisters Ginger and Jessa on the Ginger and Jeremy podcast to talk openly about the experience for the first time in years. She admitted that looking back she had felt a quiet sense that something might not be right, yet she had tried not to overthink it. Leaving the ultrasound room, she said, she felt completely numb. Delivering Annabelle at 20 weeks was, in her words, extremely hard. She was grateful her mother Michelle had been through loss before and could offer practical and emotional support, and she praised the team around her, yet nothing made the process easy. Joanna also spoke about the months that followed. She described feeling as though she lived in a fog or a cloud for about 6 months. The combination of postpartum physical changes and the shock of loss left her moving through daily life without fully feeling present. There is no set timeline for grief, she reminded listeners. One of the most honest moments came when she reflected on Austin's experience. In the early weeks she focused so completely on her own pain that she almost forgot he was grieving the same child. She recalled moments when Austin, who tried to stay strong for her, broke down and cried. Looking back, she said she wished she had been more supportive of him in those early days. Faith remained central for both of them. They returned often to the idea that they would see their daughter again, drawing comfort from Scripture and the belief that Annabelle's first sight was the face of Jesus. The couple went on to welcome 2 more children, daughter Evelyn in 2020 and son Gunnar in 2023. Joanna has said that becoming pregnant with Evelyn roughly 6 months after the loss felt both frightening and hopeful. She described an ongoing internal battle during that pregnancy, the desire to protect her heart by not getting too excited, set against the decision to trust and allow herself to feel joy. The children they have now do not replace Annabelle, yet Joanna has spoken of the perspective that without the loss they would not have the exact family they hold today. That tension, grief that stays and gratitude that grows, sits at the center of how she talks about the experience now. Public response to Joanna's recent posts and podcast appearance has been largely supportive. Many viewers who have experienced miscarriage or stillbirth themselves wrote that her willingness to revisit the story 6 years later made them feel less alone. Some expressed appreciation for the way she named Annabelle and continues to acknowledge her place in the family. Others noted the honesty about the fog of early grief and the reminder that partners often carry their own quiet pain. Media coverage has stayed focused on the facts Joanna chose to share rather than speculation. A smaller number of comments questioned why the couple continues to speak about a loss from years earlier, but those voices remain the minority. Overall, the tone online has been one of respect for a private sorrow made public with care. Looking ahead, Joanna and Austin have not announced any new formal projects tied to Annabelle's memory, yet the pattern of quiet annual tributes and occasional deeper conversations suggests they will continue to honor her in ways that feel right for their family. Viewers who follow the couple's YouTube channel and social media may see more everyday moments with Gideon, Evelyn, and Gunnar, along with the same faith-centered outlook that has marked their public life since the beginning. Any further reflections will almost certainly come on their own timeline rather than as a response to outside pressure. The story of Joanna and Austin's loss is not new, yet the details they have chosen to share in 2025 add depth and humanity to an experience many families still face in silence. From the sudden silence of a 20-week ultrasound, through the delivery and burial of a daughter they named with hope, through 6 months of fog and the later arrival of 2 more children, the couple has shown both the lasting weight of grief and the steady presence of their faith. Annabelle Elise remains part of their family story, remembered on her heavenly birthdays and spoken of with honesty when the moment feels right. What are your thoughts on this latest Duggar family update? Share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Duggar family update.